Another late goal, another victory. Liverpool 1-0 against Burnley at Turf Moor. Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange. And I don't know how we do it. I really don't know how we do it, but it's getting stressful. It looked for a long time in that game like Liverpool were not going to get a goal. It looked like it was heading for a 0-0 draw. But look, an unbelievable mistake from Hannibal Mejbri, I think it is. I don't know how you handball it in that situation. He's turned his back to the cross and his right arm's come across. It's hit his elbow. Look, brilliant for Liverpool because I think we deserved to win the game. There was only one team looking to win the game, but there's a few talking points that we need to touch upon in this video because, again, it's not a comfortable performance. Yes, we've got the win. Yes, we've got the late goal again. And yes, we sit comfortably at the top of the table with 4 wins in 4. But there's a lot to talk about. First off, I think the first main talking point, really, we've got to look at Alexander Isak, not in the starting squad. Do you agree with Arne Slot? Do you disagree with Arne Slot? I was certain that he'd be on the bench and he'd get a few minutes today. I think Arne Slot said in his pre-match interview that he will feature against Atletico Madrid midweek, which is good. So we're going to see him on the bench in that game. So it wasn't an injury per se. I think it's just the fact that he's not had a pre-season. And Arne Slot alluded to Johan Visser, who came in and he's injured, I think, for 4 weeks, is he? I don't know if he played some of the game for Newcastle or if he got injured in training. But yeah, Alexander Isak, he hasn't trained with Liverpool yet because he's been on international duty. So yeah, hopefully he can get a few days training in and then get some minutes against Atletico Madrid. I actually think, look, hindsight's a wonderful thing and we've won the game, so I think he's made the right choice in leaving Alexander Isak out. Yes, it would have been nice to see him in that game, but again, I don't think that game was really teed up for Alexander Isak's strengths as well. It was always going to be a game where Liverpool dominated possession and Burnley sit back with a low block and try to counter-attack. I don't think Burnley really ever caused Liverpool any problems in that game. It was, in terms of a possession game, it was quite comfortable. What worried me a little bit, certainly in the first half, and we see this time and time again with this Liverpool team under Arne Slot, where Liverpool, it's almost like they're feeling out their opponents and they're waiting to see, right, where can we utilise the open spaces and we make them changes in the second half as opposed to being at it from the off. I think if you look at the game, the first half we virtually created nothing, and then second half we came out and it was, I'll say, half chance after half chance. There was never really any clear cut chances for Liverpool, but we started to assert ourselves into the game more, and yeah, get more shots on target, if you will, and off target as well. I'm gonna touch upon a few of the players. I think I want to start with Milos Kerkez first. I sort of logged onto Twitter at half time and I see a lot of people saying that he's had a shocker. I don't believe that's the case. I think what's happened, I thought Milos Kerkez did okay. There were a few scenarios where he's made the overlap on Gakpo. He didn't receive the ball. I don't know what's going on there because I pin this as a game where Milos Kerkez can show us what he can do going forward. I think in 38 minutes that he was on the pitch, Gakpo never passed the ball to him on any of his overlaps. Then I think he passed it to Robertson like 3 times on an overlap within 5 minutes. So there's something to watch out for there. I don't know why Gakpo didn't give the ball to Kerkez, but it was frustrating to watch. Obviously, the dive in the first half got Kerkez a yellow card. That's the reason he's gone off so early, because he has put... We know what Kerkez is like. He can be rash, and he's put a couple of fouls in. Nothing that's ever going to get him a second yellow, but I think Arne Slot was protecting Kerkez against himself. Do not believe what people say on social media that he had a shocker. He didn't. He just came off because he was being protected. And on the dive as well, it was a blatant dive. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. I would like Kerkez to stay on his feet, especially in the situation as well, because he was the first to the ball and he could have got a cross in, but he chose to go down when there was an opportunity to potentially score as well. So, yeah, not a fan of that. I'd like Ornisot to be having a word with him. I'd like to think he will do that, and asking him to stay on his feet. In terms of, look, Gravenberch, again, fantastic. He was the only one in the first half that I think could walk out of that saying that he played well. I thought the way he was our most dangerous asset at that point, where the balls, he does it time and time again, the ball comes into him, he turns, he drops a shoulder, and he's away, and it gives Burnley one man less in the midfield to compete with. So I thought Gravenberch, first half and second half, I thought he was fantastic. Florian Wirtz, again, I think, look, I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of people who come out and say Florian Wirtz, another game, no goal, no assist. But I think the things that Florian Wirtz is doing is he's showing how good he is when he's on the ball. Yes, his goals and his assists will come, but his touches on the ball and the pockets that he finds, the pockets of space that he finds between the defence and the midfield, even in games like this where there's not much space to find them pockets, Florian Wirtz is capable of doing it, and when the pockets aren't there, he drifts out to the left. Today, especially in the second half, he looked like he was drifting out to the right before he went off. And there were a lot of link-up play with Mo Salah, first half and second half. I thought them two linked up quite well. So yeah, I think he just needs time. You can see he's not up to the pace of the Premier League yet, because there's a few instances where he thinks he's got a lot more time on the ball than he actually has, and he loses the ball, or he's tackled, or he's under pressure. So I think once that comes, I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. I don't think there's any doubt in that. You're going to see a lot of other fans again on social media saying that he's a flop. Look, he's 4 games into his Liverpool career, and he's not going to be a flop. I can guarantee that. In terms of, I don't like doing this, but Mo Salah, again, another poor game. Reasons for that, I think he's too wide. He is too wide, and there's not enough support. So obviously, Szoboszlai was playing in the right back position today, and McAllister on that right hand side of the midfield. When you've got Florian Wirtz and you've got Ekitike floating over to the left, and you've got Gakpo out there with Kirkez as well, Szoboszlai's going from right back to centre midfield. He's not, like Conor Bradley shown in the second half. Conor Bradley is about getting up and down that touchline and making that inverted run. Szoboszlai wasn't about that. So I think when Salah did pick up the ball, he was outnumbered, and there wasn't really the options on. I thought Salah did a little bit better in the second half, but there's still something not quite right with the way Mo Salah's playing football at the minute. Again, there comes a point in time where age takes its toll on a player. I'm hoping that's not the situation with Mo Salah. I'm hoping he's just having a slow start. I say slow start, but he's got 2 goals and 2 goals and an assist in 4 games. It's a slow start for Mo Salah, but yeah, he's got the winning goal in this game, and that's worth its weight in gold in it. That goal, because Liverpool have gone and got 4 wins out of 4 now with another late goal. We got Atletico midweek. We got Everton at the weekend at Anfield. I think both of those games, will be. I'm hoping to see a big improvement against Atletico Madrid. I think Liverpool, if we can play like that, I think we've got enough to get past Everton. Another team that are very good defensively, but I think Everton will look to attack more, especially with the likes of Ndiaye and Jack Grealish in the team. So yeah, I don't think it'll be as tough to break Everton down as what it was to break Burnley down today. And look, credit goes to Scott Parker. He set his team up well. I think you have to ask questions of Liverpool, and Burnley did that. Burnley executed their game plan to perfection, really. They didn't really look like they wanted to go and win the game. They looked like they'd be happy with a point, and why not? We've just come up from a championship. We knew that Burnley had a very solid defence in the championship last year, and they were looking to emulate that in the Premier League as well against Liverpool. I think the only difference is obviously James Trafford has gone to Man City this year. So yeah, I think in terms of what Burnley did, you can't really criticise what Burnley were doing. We came out, we executed the game plan to perfection. On another day, Burnley could have picked up a draw there. I think obviously the Hannibal handball is he'll be feeling let down, and Hannibal will want the ground to open up and swallow him after that, because it was silly, unnecessary, and in the last minute of a game where you've defended so well, that's tough to take for Burnley fans, for Scott Parker as manager, for his teammates, and for Hannibal himself. But yeah, I think Liverpool need to look. For me personally, I want to see a Liverpool that come out flying out the blocks and trying to get that lead, because like in this game today, we start off slow. The longer the game goes on, you build pressure on yourselves to try and go and get that victory, and we found that today, where again we're relying on a late goal. We're still pushing at the end of the game. When you look at, he took Konate and Wirtz off and brought on Rio and Frimpong, and then obviously Chiesa, and you're just trying to get that goal when the pressure's building and building. If you come flying out of the blocks, you can try and build up a lead where the pressure's not on. Make it easier for us fans. We can't keep doing these late winners every week. But yeah, all in all, it's another good day to be a Liverpool fan. Another day where we've got the 3 points, and roll on Atletico in the week, I guess. Get your comments in. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know what you think of Mo Salah's performance, of Arne Slot's performance as well, because I thought the substitutions he made were very good. I think it was evident he was trying to get attacking players on to try and get the goal. He wasn't in the 85th minute or whatever it was. He wasn't happy just having the draw. He got Rio on, he got Frimpong on. I think the only criticism from me of Arne Slot, and it's hard to say this after Mo Salah's just scored the last minute goal to win the game, but it was a penalty, but when Mo Salah's not scoring and he's not playing well, surely there's a question that has to be asked about, should Frimpong come on for Mo Salah in that situation? But look, I'm not Liverpool manager. Arne Slot, he's made the decision, and Mo Salah's got the winner. So who am I to disagree with that? I just think the reluctance to give, even if you call it giving Mo Salah a rest, the way you did with McAllister. I know McAllister picked up a little bit of a knock in the first half, but he's been taken off and rested. Ekitike and Wirtz are still being taken off to be rested. Why can't you do that with Mo Salah? But we've won the game, 1-0, top of the league, 12 points in 12 now. 4 wins out of 4. Liverpool are on the charge to become Premier League champions once again. Get in the comments, let me know what you think of the game. I'll see you on the next one.